Hi guys, I hope you're all doing well. So over the past couple of days on Instagram and Twitter, and I think that's it, I have been asking you if you have any kind of Q&A style questions that you would like me to answer. So that's what I'm going to be doing today. Thank you so much to any of you who did send them in. That's really nice, and yeah, I'm really grateful that you took the time to do that, so thank you. So the first question is, who are your first blogger slash YouTuber discoveries? The first blog that I remember kind of coming across was Lily Melrose. I found her blog, I think through Tumblr, possibly through her lookbook as well, and I absolutely kind of fell in love with it. I didn't realise until I found her blog that there was this whole kind of fashion blogging, beauty blogging industry out there. I did use Tumblr a lot before that, but everything that I had was kind of just me reblogging and photography and things like that from other blogs, so I didn't really realise that there was this whole world where people were sort of writing their own blogs. From Lily's, I think I came across Emma from Milk Teeth and Kate from Ghost Parties as well. I remember reading those three blogs kind of avidly, as I still do. There's still three amazing blogs and still three of my favourites, so those are the first ones that I came across. In terms of YouTube, I honestly can't remember. I've been racking my brains. It was maybe Kate, because obviously I followed her blog, so perhaps I found her YouTube quite quickly. I remember Alex from I Covered Thee. I've been watching her for a really long time. I think she was one of the first ones that I found. And maybe Sammy as well from Beauty Crush. I think I remember watching one of her winged liner tutorials, and that must have been a good few years ago now. So those three. The next question kind of follows on from that, and that is, who are your biggest blogging inspirations? This one's quite difficult because there are so many. Even if I kind of blog about beauty, probably primarily, I read a lot of different blogs that aren't necessarily beauty related. Some of the most inspiring, I would say Sophie from The Private Life of a Girl. There's a whole kind of collective of bloggers as well that blog under the kind of name of Creators of Desire. I'll put all the links to all of these things I'm talking about down below, and they're incredibly inspiring as well. They are on like a certain blogger network and they just have amazing content. Photography is beautiful. I just get inspired by blogs that are kind of willing to do something different, willing to push the boundaries a little bit. I would say that After Dark is another one of my favourite blogs. Jess from Jessica Beautician has a really great blog as well. How did you and Callum meet / how long have you been together? Me and Callum met on Tumblr, which I'm just going to put straight out there. I have always been a little bit nervous about kind of announcing that. I think that people can get a little bit judgmental about that kind of thing. But yeah, we met on Tumblr. This was back in the day. I used to spend a lot of time on Tumblr and I had quite a big following. Not quite kind of Tumblr famous, but not too far off it, I must say. But that's, I mean, everything that I did was like just reblogging other people, so it wasn't any of my own work. But yeah, he just kind of commented and said, I really like your blog. I actually replied to that one. I didn't used to reply to a lot of comments saying I really like your blog. And that's kind of one of the strange things, that for some reason his just came up at a time where I was really bored and I just replied and said thank you. He then asked me how my day was going. I replied to that and we just got chatting really, and after a little while we exchanged numbers and we texted each other all the time. Then we started calling each other all the time, then we started Skyping each other all the time, and then we wanted to meet in person. So yeah, it was just a kind of gradual progression from that, I guess. We've been together now for 3.5 years and still going strong, fingers crossed. I then got quite a lot of kind of favourites questions. So the first one is all-time favourite nail polish. I am going to go for Topshop's One Hot Minute. I don't think it's been discontinued. I hope it's not been discontinued. I will put a link down below to it, and if it has been discontinued I will try and find one that is as similar as possible and put a link to that as well. I remember buying it because I was in love for a little while with the YSL Rose baby doll nail polish that they brought out, but I couldn't afford it for the life of me, so I went out and tried to find like a similar shade, a bit of a dupe, and that was one that I found. I do find that it leans slightly more red than the YSL version that leans slightly more pink, but for me that makes it all the more wearable, and I just absolutely love that shade. Favourite book / film / TV show? I don't read now. I did do like English literature and things like that, and I did used to read a lot, and as I've got older I just haven't got the time anymore. and I don't know, I can't even say I haven't got the time anymore, because I have the time to blog, and I have the time to watch TV, and I have the time to lounge around doing nothing. But yeah, like I don't know, I just don't really read anymore, so I haven't really got a favourite book. Favourite film is really, really difficult. I don't know, I talk about films quite a lot on my blog. I don't know, there's so many, I'm a bit of a film buff. I don't know, that one's too hard, I'm past the now on that one. TV show, I love Girls, I do really like Girls, but I would say that the first series of Girls is way better than the subsequent series. I have to admit that. I'm not a big fan of kind of series 2 and 3, but the first series is amazing. I know it sounds really cliche, but Orange is the New Black as well, I absolutely loved. I can't wait for the third series of that, and it was one of those that was a bit of a slow burner for me. I watched the first couple of episodes quite kind of stagnantly, and I wasn't really that sure if it was going to be for me, and then kind of 5 or 6 episodes in, say, I just completely binge watched them like a mofo after that. I got really, really hooked on it. If you could own all of one brand's cosmetics, which brand would you choose? I'm going to take a risk here, I'm risking it for a biscuit, and I'm going to go for a brand that I've never owned anything from, and that is Chanel. And for me, I absolutely love the sound of Chanel cosmetics, I absolutely love the packaging. I've never really heard that much of a bad thing about them. I'd really like to try the Aqua Vita Lumiere Aqua, you know what I'm saying. That foundation. I'd also really love to try their Rouge Coco Shine lipsticks and bronzers as well. Chanel seems to do some amazing bronzers that I've never heard a bad word said about them, but I just can't afford to buy all their stuff, so I guess if I was just going to get a bulk load of something from one brand, even though I've never tried anything, so I can't specifically say that they do work for me, I just think that I would go for one like Chanel that I just can't afford anyway, so why the hell not? What are your tips for a flawless base on acne prone skin? My first tip would be to moisturise. I used to fall foul of the idea that if you had kind of acne prone skin and you had any spots or blemishes or pimples, that they just need drying out and they need all the moisture sucked from them. That does not help. At least it didn't help me. I don't know about you, but when I get spots and pimples, this is going to sound absolutely gross, but they have a tendency to get quite dry and crusty almost. I know crusty is not a nice word to use when you're describing a pimple, but it's true. I just found that by moisturising the area really well and putting something like coconut oil just a little bit over the top of it every now and then, just to keep it well moisturised and well hydrated, actually did help with my spots, and they actually kind of reduced the amount of time that I had like acne scarring and things like that as well. So another tip I would say is just to use as kind of light and fresh a base on the rest of your skin as possible. I would go over with a kind of really quite a sheer foundation to begin with, just to even out the skin, diffuse any redness in the rest of your skin, and then just kind of pinpoint conceal on top of any spots and pimples. Use a really kind of heavy duty concealer if you have to, but just by keeping it as light and fresh as possible on the rest of your skin, I find that it gives the illusion that the rest of your skin really isn't that bad, and that your skin in general really isn't that bad at all. What products are currently on your wish list? A lot of NARS. I haven't yet tried the NARS Radiant Creamy Concealer, and I really want to try that. Sheer Glow as well, which I was warned off by a friend, and she told me that it wasn't really worth the hype, but I've heard so much hype about it since then that I don't know, I'm kind of leaning towards maybe buying a bottle of it and just seeing what it's like. There are Audacious lipsticks as well, I really want to try. Soap and Glory Solar Powder, I think that's what it's called, is on my kind of wish list as well as their Brow Archery. What do you study at uni / did you study at A-level? I am doing a degree in education at uni at the moment. I'm at UEA in my second year. A lot of people, if I say I'm studying education, they're like, what are you studying? Like, what subject? That is my subject. I'm studying education, so it's like educational theory and practice. And what did you study at A-level? I studied modern history, English literature, English language, and I studied psychology at AS level and then dropped it because that definitely weren't for me. How do you balance blogging and uni without feeling overwhelmed? This is quite a difficult question to answer. I'm definitely not a good person to be answering this. I do sometimes feel quite overwhelmed by it. I'm also very lucky that I have 2 days off from uni in the week. I'm sure I'm meant to be studying on those 2 days, but I do get a lot of my kind of blogging and YouTube videos and stuff done then as well. I don't know, I just kind of take it day by day. I don't really have a routine. I'm not very organised. I'm just not a very organised person in general, so I just kind of take it day by day, and somehow it seems to work out that it all sorts into place. I say, but I haven't blogged in like 4 days now because I just haven't had the time to, so yeah, I need... Do/have you ever dyed your hair? I have dyed my hair in the past. I've been red, I've been dark brown, I have been almost black, I have had a dip dye. None of it was particularly good, and now my hair is back at its natural colour. It took me a really long time to get back here, but I finally am. So that is it for my Q&A video. Thank you again to all of you who sent me questions, and I hope you enjoyed it, and I will see you guys soon.